Hello everyone, welcome back to another video on the channel, and in today's video I ask you all a question. When you think of damaged cars in the Cars universe, who comes to your mind first? Is it perhaps Damage the King, Strip Weathers, the first damaged car released by Mattel all the way back in 2009, and the only one to receive multiple re-releases over the years, including a Thailand variant very recently in 2022? Could it perhaps be the infamous race-damaged Mood Springs, Suck Armstrong, released in 2010 as part of the Final Lap collection, and has since become one of the rarest and most expensive Cars Diecast of them all? Or is it perhaps damaged Rod Torque Redline, released in a 2-pack in 2011 and never seen again, making him a very forlorn release? Or could it even be the World Grand Prix racers with the flames, like Nigel Gearsley or Carla Veloso, both of whom were released in, I believe, 2014. They're not really damaged cars, but they're here for the vibe. I like Nigel a lot. Carla, they could have done better on her. I mean, her expression does not match what's going on in the back here. But I don't think it's any of these. I'm just being real. I think the ones that everybody gravitates towards to are the forbidden fruits. The ones that Mattel, Tomica, Disney Store, all of them, they never touched. So, get all these guys out of here. I'm thinking of guys like Claude Scruggs, Todd Marcus, even ones from Planes like Blade Ranger or Dusty in both movies. Those damaged cars are highly desirable, but there is one that stands above all the rest as the big daddy, the big dog, on top of them all. And when that teaser trailer dropped, we were all both traumatized and entranced by it. I am, of course, talking about race-damaged Lightning McQueen from Cars 3. It's shocking that Mattel, Disney, nobody ever touched this one. I mean, I know why they wouldn't, but, you know, it just feels like such a centerpiece to the movie. But, as a customizer, that's why I'm here, to take matters into my own hands. And this lovely piece here was commissioned by King of Cars 95 on Instagram. I will try and put some text up here at the top, but if I don't, his Instagram will either way be in the description down below. I highly encourage you guys to go check it out. He has some amazing pieces in his collection, including a ton of customs. There's so much eye candy to look at. My contact information will also be in the description in case you guys want to try and get in touch with me to possibly get one of these for your own. But yeah, this one will be going to King of Cars 95, along with another damaged custom we will hopefully be taking a look at later this week, if all goes well. So, without further ado, let's get into this guy. Let's crack him open, so to speak, in a theoretical sort of way. So, first of all, let's get some stills from the movie up in here to show you guys what I was working with. Now, unfortunately, the crash in the movie happens very abruptly and suddenly. Like, yeah, we get the slow motion shot to start with, but then he just wildly goes into a flip, skidding, grinding across that asphalt, just having the absolute worst race of his career, before coming to a halt on the bottom of the racetrack as emergency crews surround him. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty disappointed we never got a close-up shot of McQueen after the crash. Like, we get this far zoomed-out shot, and it's good, but I wasn't really able to glean the finer details from it, you know? And that just kind of sucks. But, you know, I get why they did it that way, because they didn't want kids to be ultra-traumatized like Optimus Prime dying in the 1986 Transformers movie did. But, you know, it's like, I would have appreciated it as a customizer. But either way, I was still able to accurately recreate what he mostly looked like in the movie using those shots. Now, let's bring in a normal, happy-go-lucky Rusteze McQueen, how he looked at the beginning of the season versus how he looked at the end of the season for comparison. So, first of all, I want to talk about the expression change. So, obviously, I painted over the eyes completely because he is in a world of pain. His eyes are completely closed. He's just, he's been through it. And his mouth. I did not just paint over the mouth. I sanded down his smile because that is completely uncalled for when you're in a world of pain, and gave him a grimacing frown, a wincing frown, one that can tell you that he's in deep pain. Moving on to the hood / top, I, did some damage here and there on the top. He didn't have a whole lot of it on the top from what I could tell. It's just a lot of like pavement marks and skid marks and stuff from the pavement. So it's like, okay, I'll go with most of those. I'll do some damaging here and there, and to really, really recreate the look. But it's the sides that took the brunt of the impact, as we'll look on the left side here first. A lot of his paint job would get shredded off, especially grinding against the pavement. Especially his sides, because he was sliding on one of his sides for a good solid, 3 seconds there. So it's like, yeah, the sides took the brunt of the impact here. I also did a heavy overcoat of, the pavement look, and also shredded some of the lettering off of his light gear tires here, along with some of the rim trim, to really sell the fact that, yeah, he's just not having a good day. His left rear quarter panel is mostly intact, because the quarter panel would not have really touched the ground much in the event of an accident. It would be mostly, the actual side itself, especially around the wheel arches. And now moving on to the rear. The rear. Well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. The spoiler! The most noticeable thing about McQueen's crash that is highlighted in almost every angle of his crash. As soon as he starts flipping, this thing flies right off almost. It shreds off of the base. Most of the supports holding it up just get torn away, leaving just 2 of them attaching it by the end of it. And, it gets bent. It's completely bent off the body. And I knew I had to recreate this properly. Just coming in for a close-up look here, I used this Dremel tool to cut through the metal here. Very precisely, very carefully. It's not easy. I definitely would not recommend trying this unless you have experience with a Dremel. But yeah, that is what I did, and then I painted over it some in red and left some of the bare metal showing to really give it the effect that, he's been heavily damaged there. And then, yeah, I bent it using a heat gun. I heated up the metal and then bent it using some pliers. It's a very intricate process. It may look easy, but trust me, it is not. Moving along to the right side here, where most of the damage lies. He definitely took more of a brunt on the right side than the left side. He got tore up a lot here. And also, his right rear tire is the one that had, a problem in the movie. So I can't sand it down completely to the rim. So I wanted to give it more of a weathered tire look. How a real tire would look like if it suddenly, if it didn't pop, but rather punctured. It would, get all rugged and stuff. It would, start setting rubber, and eventually the whole carcass would fly off. But I kept the tire carcass on there, because, that's just not something that I can do. But I think it turned out really nicely. It looks like a blown tire compared to the pristine tire up here on the normal one. And then, yeah, just a lot of scuff marks using a knife. I scraped him up real good. Precision is the name of the game. You don't just want to wildly take a whack at your cars using a hammer or a knife. No, you gotta be precise about this stuff. And always, always, always wear gloves. That is the number 1 rule. So yeah, that's about it for the damaging here. It's a very intricate process, and this one probably took me, I want to say 3-4 hours fully to complete. Most of it was just the paint drying, and then, letting him cool down because the Dremel and the heat gun really heat this body up. But yeah, it's a long and intricate process, but the end result, well, you can judge it for yourself. I think this is one of the best damaged McQueens out there. Heavy bias, but it is what I think. Again, if you guys want one, hit me up in the description down below. I'm always open to doing this one. I've done 2 of them now, and it's always fun. Always a treat doing this one. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, there is one more that I will be taking a look at that me and King of Cars 95 are collaborating, quote unquote, on. That will be going out to him. So keep your eyes open for that, and I will catch y'all in the next video. Bye!